you know, my birthday is approaching and I'm gonna turn 35. And then I was like, putain, 35 years of life, like 35 years, like, do we ever stop to actually be like, it's been 35 years of life that I'm living, you know? Some people before us couldn't even go all the way to their 30s, and now are like 35 and moving up. And then, I don't know, I personally don't feel 35. I just still feel like I'm a 20, even maybe, 20-ish. I don't know, because I love life so much and everything, but I do feel that obviously I've matured, hopefully, you know, I do feel it. But anyways, I realized, putain, 35, and I never really cared about the number or anything because, as I told you, I just still feel very young, and it's like, oh my God, I have another year around the sun to just like be me, do me, for me, and then create impact. And even more so this year, you know, not because of the number, but because of everything that 2025 brought me. I really feel like there's been this sort of not a rupture, but clear, okay, now we're going to 35, where maybe because I feel like I've lived so many lives during 2025, just like I'm pretty sure a lot of people, and this time around I really feel it. I'm like, ah ouais putain, 35 ans les potos. And then it's just like, oh my God, I'm growing, I'm aging, you know, and not necessarily on my body or my face or whatever, but it's like, putain, it's like, hey, this project of mine is just like maturing, you know, there's so much experience, there's so much wisdom, there's so many things that happened for me, and there's like already 35 years of life, of learnings, of failure, of successes, of like, putain, mais, you know. And every day when I wake up into my gratitude, I write the same sentence. I always start with the same sentence, and then I just continue with everything that I'm grateful for. But I always write, thank you, God, for giving me another chance at life. Thank you, God, for waking me up again this morning. Thank you, God, for giving me all of my senses and be able to just go on about life. And especially now, at least 2026, thank you, God, for just giving me another chance to come back to me, you know, rediscover who I am and rediscover maybe like the person that I am supposed to be. Like I've always, you know, this sentence is like, but who the fuck are we supposed to be on this planet, on this life of ours, on this fucking, you know, form and shape of now, you know, in this body, in this human sort of like experience, because I do believe in, you know, reincarnation and all these kinds of things. And I see a lot of this sentence, and then slowly but surely, and maybe because of what happened in 2025 and everything that I'm sort of removing in my life, whether it's like beliefs, situations, environments, and whatever, like it's not even, I'm not in this phase of like adding yet, because a lot has been extracted from me last year, and there's a lot that I had to subtract, and there's a lot that I wanted to subtract as a sort of like consequence to that, you know. But I'm still in that phase of, okay, let's just keep on removing. I don't feel like the home that I'm trying to reconnect to, aka me, is empty. Do you know what I mean? So, I'm really welcoming this birthday and this 35 number as a, okay, genre, there's a sort of like second chapter, you know. The first chapter was all the way till 34 and leading all the way here, and now this new chapter is really like a putain de new chapter of 35. Vas-y, who are we, what are we gonna do, how are we gonna impact the world, etc. And I really see it as a blessing, and because I sort of like look forward, as in not really in the future, but like I'm sort of excited for once about my birthday, because I don't really like my birthday. I usually on the 11th of February I'm just like flemme. Oula, there's a lot of runners. Hello, Tour de France. Hello Tour de France, I'm in the Butte-Chaumont. That's why a lot of people, it's sunny, the dogs, the people running. But anyways, 35 this year. I'm like, I want to celebrate. I want to do something. I want to gather people. Not because I like being the center of attention, which I really hate. And that's why I think that all those years, I was just running away. Like, taking 2 weeks in the most remote location, no Wi-Fi, no data, but just me and me, or me and a friend. And we'd be like, all right, let's just, okay, that's my birthday. It's another day. Allez, ciao, you know? And especially 2025, the day before my birthday is my dad's. And obviously him passing away was just very, very hard for me. And that sort of, it wasn't even celebration. It was just like, putain, ah ouais. Realization that really life is short, life is fleeting. And I was just in the midst of crying, grieving, whatever. And I don't even think I was grieving that much. But anyways, this year, I'm like, you know what? I want to create something. I want to organize something. I want to start sort of really be living the life I actually want to live. I still don't know what it is that I want, but I really have this inkling towards, of course, being surrounded by the sea, by the water, by people that I know, by my friends, by my family, but just something really cozy. And I'm like, what if I just create that in Amsterdam? You know, something like a long dinner table, everybody's talking with each other, really good food, possibly from my country, so I can just, you know, reconnect to my own roots, Tunisia and Egypt, and just invite people into my world and just like celebrate that heritage, but also celebrate the fact that I'm alive again, and celebrate also all these beautiful people around me, you know, people who are here, people who support, people I feel like, oh my God, I see you, you know, just like in Avatar, I see you. I literally did the hand gesture that they do. I don't know, I feel way more, je sais pas, maybe it's because of my faith that has increased because of this year, and I feel more connected. Anyways, so looking forward, I have to look back. And I have to look back to the past 6-7 years as a business owner, you know, since I'm trying to figure out my next steps and everything. And this morning I woke up and I was like, putain, you've been a teacher. You've been a teacher for the past, 7 years. Maybe 7-8 years. I actually started before launching my business. And for me, teaching, I was thinking maybe for this birthday of mine, I'm going to teach. I'm going to bring people together just like I did last November. Being together, dancing, moving. This is really what I love the most. Bringing people together and just sharing. You know, I've never really felt like I was teaching anything, because it's just sharing. It's sharing my passion for the art, for the African dances, especially the ones coming from Ghana. Like, love for these dances. And that's also why I've been going there for the past 4 years, 2-3 times a year. But I've always saw it as really just being someone who shares the passion that she has for this form of art, for these dances, for the meaning behind the dances, behind the steps, behind the story, behind the people, behind the traditions, you know. And I've never saw it as like, oh, I'm teaching you something. I'm just sharing. I'm just transmitting. And I've always seen us also as human beings, all teachers. You know, we're all, like this sentence of we're all teachers and students of one another is so fucking true. So of course, you know, within sharing something that is maybe technical or with a history, you need to have a certain degree of knowledge and certification and whatever. But as human beings, we're all fucking sharing all the time. And I love doing that. If anything left with me from the past 6-7 years, and that I think is gonna move with me still into this next adventure, is that love that I have for sharing, for transmitting, for bringing people together. And I think it's so fucking precious. Like, I'm literally doing, it might be a love letter to teaching and sharing, but it's just, for me, it's really, really precious, because it's honoring someone's experiences, someone's wisdom, someone's risks, because they took risks in studying what it is that they want to study and have gone to, length to get that knowledge and to bring it back and to keep sharing it, and to sort of like teachers for me and all of us, of course, and all of us are, the sort of like, not necessarily the gatekeepers, but like we're sort of like passing the torch to each other, and safeguarding. Let's say now I'm talking about dances and about Azonto in Ghana. We're just all doing our best to share the knowledge, to make sure that people don't have the wrong information, especially with social media and everything. And at the same time, we're also like making sure that this legacy remains alive. And I think this is so fucking powerful. And again, this is so precious. And in the midst of all of that, I was like, oh, maybe I can do that for my birthday. And then I realized I don't want to. Honestly, I don't want to. Like, I love teaching and sharing and transmitting and everything, but I feel way more connected to my body lately, and it is so fucking tired. I realize how fucking exhausted I am, even though I appear very excited on social media and finally wanting to, see myself. Not necessarily that feeling of being seen or met or understood. Maybe I want to be met, but that's another topic. But I just feel how exhausted it is, how exhausted I am to just be moving. Like I'm in the Butte-Chaumont, and there are a lot of uphill paths in the park, and every time I took a hill, I have to slow down. I'm dead. Like, I am fucking dead. 45 minutes or even not 30 minutes at the gym, and then I'm done. I cannot do too much. I can do only one activity and one social sort of like connecting with someone and having a conversation, and then I'm kaput. So I think I still have a long way before I go back to like my full self, let's say. And I think that that's the reason why I don't want to teach. I think that this job, let's say, even though for me it's not a job, is so fucking precious that I give it my all, or I don't give anything. It's either or. It's a zero and I don't do it, or 100 and 1,000 and 5,500 millions of trillions, and that's it. And that's why I really am applauding anybody who's taking on this sort of mission to share, to transmit, to guide, to create space for people to connect. I think this is very, very precious. So if today anyone around you who's a teacher, who's a professor, who's a lecturer, or whomever, like really, really take the time to share your appreciation, share your gratitude towards the work they're doing, again, the risks that they're taking, the length they go to, like, learn what it is that they're learning. And even if it's just sharing wisdom or sharing their journeys, like, there's so much, again, beauty in that, but sometimes there's also so much, so many insecurities and doubts and everything. And even though it appears as people really have their shit together and do wonders whenever they share their craft, their knowledge or whatever, it still takes so much energy, and sometimes it's not reciprocated as much. And I don't know, I just wanted to really today have this ode and have this love letter to all of my teachers out there, because, and maybe you are a teacher, okay, you don't have to have a specific certification or whatever, or be an expert in a specific field, but you are a teacher as well for me, and you also are, oh my god, a student. And I just hope that you realize that you have tremendous power within you to pass on the message, pass on the information. And I think that in this day and age of everybody sharing their stories on social media and all these kinds of things, like, share whatever it is that you want to share in the form that you want to share it, because it's going to touch someone, it's going to help someone, it's going to create impact, it's going to inspire someone else maybe to just share their own stories and create something and create impact. And voila, today this was my reflection.